Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm your host tonight, Dr. Dana Martin, and with me tonight I have Zane. I don't got the other two. I don't know what they're doing. Probably voting, I hope so. If the polls haven't closed, go vote in your area. If it hasn't closed, I don't care who you vote for. Exercise your privilege and right to vote. Welcome to the show, Oken Saber Armory. We have Ty and Abigail. Hello, Abby and Ty. How are y'all doing tonight?
Awesome.
Doing well, thank you.
Fantastic. We ran into these folks over at the College Station Comic-Con. Actually, when I did the montage after that, these folks are in there. Abby was showing off a light whip, I think, in the video clip. And Zane, of course, I had to pull away from the table because he was going to drop some dough over there. Sorry, guys. I mean, he's on a budget. But wow, what an absolute pleasure it is to have you guys on the show. Thank you.
Very kind, thanks.
I want to jump right into this stuff with you guys because sabers, as some of you know, like I got collection over here of what I built at Savi's, but of course I've got the master replicas from way back. Master replica. What is wrong with this thing? Master replicas, Vader, and then the green version of ROTJ Luke. And man, just having sabers in your hand, there's something about those toys that just make you feel like it's real, like being a Jedi's real. So first of all, let's talk to you two, Ty and Abby. Either of you tell us kind of about what you guys do, how you kind of got started into this.
I'll talk a little bit about how we got into it and all that, and then I think I'll leave it to Ty to explain the thoughts behind our brand and what we're trying to do in the community, because obviously there are a lot of saber companies out there. Everywhere we go, a lot of people have heard of a lot of the bigger names like Saber Theory and some of them, and they all have great products, and we just wanted to bring our own flavor to the table. So how we got into it is he's actually my brother, so we're related. That's part of it. And we have another brother who is an engineer who I work with, and we actually have an engineering company. And we do a lot of different things like that, but we're all deep down at our core, really just nerds, and specifically Star Wars nerds. So we just decided one day we wanted to get into sabers and brought Tybor in as well on it. And we've just been touring the country this last year. We only actually started our business in May, I believe. So we've only been at it, 7 months or so, not quite. It took a little while to get going, but then we just started hitting whatever shows we could make it to. We were actually at LA Comic-Con I think a month ago, beginning of October at LA Comic-Con. That was a big deal. We met Ewan and Hayden Christensen.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was pretty great. So there's a part of it that's business and having fun and trying to make money off of a cool product, but also there's definitely another side of it that's just us trying to meet people we like and have an excuse to go to these things now.
Heck yeah!
So yeah, we've been doing some shows and we're coming out with a couple different things. Obviously, right now we've got our character sabers, and we do have a lot of other custom designs, more basic sabers and everything in between. All of our sabers have motion control. They're certainly on par with any of the other companies you've probably heard of as far as that goes, and functionality wise, Xenopixel, Profees, all that stuff. But yeah, and then Tybor has been kind of he's kind of our mascot, I guess, of sorts.
Like the face of the company.
He's the face of the company, and
Nice.
I'll let him talk a little bit about that side of things.
Heck yeah!
Well, I'll have to go way back because I'm 9 years older than my sister, and I was actually rifling through some closet stuff a few months ago, and like back in middle school or maybe before, you have little school printed IDs. I don't know if you guys had those, but I did, and I looked back and I found my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade IDs, and they all had a picture of me with my Star Wars T-shirt in them. And I went on through high school. I was huge into Star Wars when I was quite young. I got into it, and I love Star Wars with my older brother. We watched it a lot together, and we played like TIE Fighter on old Windows. I mean,
heck yeah!
Way long ago, when we had a little cheap joystick playing on Windows 3.1. But I was all about Star Wars.
He actually had a Padawan braid.
No way.
I've got
That's
long hair now,
awesome.
right? But back in college, I cut my hair and I left my Padawan braid. So I had a genuine, bona fide Padawan braid. See,
Oh my gosh.
that's some of the history. But I remember going to Star Wars Episode 1 when it first came out, and we lived in a fairly small town, but it was highly anticipated. And a friend of mine and myself went to the theater, and we were there like 2 hours before anybody else, waiting for it. And then I had another buddy, and this was maybe I was around 10 years old, right around the time Episode 1 came out, and we would just get dowel rods, and we would spend hours outside choreographing fight scenes, with the lightsaber. And of course, the lightsaber is probably the most iconic weapon in modern cinema, I would guess. Sure. If you can think of another, I don't know, but there's not much that compares. And so I was really enthralled by all the Jedi stuff, and I got pretty dexterous with it's fun to spin a stick around and pretend you're a Jedi, and that's basically how it was. And I was a Star Wars fan throughout. And I don't know when Abby started to get into Star Wars. I don't remember watching it the same with her as I was watching with my older brother. Were you in high school or? I
actually got into it late high school. Yeah, actually through the Knights of the Old Republic video game. So I didn't even get into Star Wars. I didn't even get into Star Wars from the movies so much as from the actual video games. And so I had almost like a very interesting, and then from there, of course, got into everything. But yeah, I had a different path.
Well, so I used to spin these sabers around, and you buy the old cheap Walmart Hasbro telescopic whatnots, but just choreographing and enjoying just the mythology of Star Wars. Well, about a year ago, my sister came to me and she had purchased me a lightsaber for Christmas, and I had not seen them before. I hadn't known of saber theory or anything like that, and I was spinning the thing around. I was like, hey, this is really cool. It lights up properly. It's durable. You can actually spar with it. It's got motion. I was just kind of like, wow, this is a lot better than the old Hasbro stuff you could find. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, I want to go into business with you selling these, and we want you to join the company that way. And I said, sure thing, let's do it. And if you were to check out any of our socials, they're all at Oken Saber Armory. You'll see them kind of the face of the company, and we're doing a lot of saber videos. I'm going to be this month putting out saber tutorials, because if you see, I'm pretty dexterous with the things, and it's just
if it's okay, I'll show the Instagram page really quick.
Absolutely.
And just a couple of the videos that Tywar's done, because
it's a good one.
Is this a good one?
Yeah.
Okay. He is really good with the saber. Double wield, dual wield, all that stuff.
So this kind of practice, there's something about this. Not only are you kind of joining the mythology of Star Wars and getting to feel like, you're a real Jedi, but there's something sort of meditative about the practice of spinning a saber. And that's part of the focus with our company, is we want to kind of expand not just the cosplay element, but really enhance it by teaching people how to spin their sabers and really get into the element of the Jedi and the Sith. There it is.
That's crazy.
That's a lot I do. That's why I'm kind of the face of the
I know. I'm just sitting here grinning. Like, this is so cool.
But really, with so Star Wars, everybody knows, but there's a lot of philosophy and mythology built into Star Wars, and there's a lot to, like any good fiction, there's a lot of good things to learn from witnessing the trials and the development, the fight between good and evil, and the conflicts. And I think some of the more recent Star Wars media has been better about showing the grays, the conflicts and characters, seeing Anakin struggle with what he's dealing with his fear and his pain and his, losing Padme and everything. And that's seeing how you can empathize with the character and not just black and white deem someone as good or evil from the start, inherently. And, so all this put together, we want to really expand with our company, the practice of sabers, the community of cosplay and anyone who loves Star Wars, and kind of build on the philosophy that is inherent to the Jedi or the Sith ethos, and build that out and make it really more of a community thing than just selling sabers.
I would also like to note, since this is the Sith Dominion, that when we first started going to shows, we all wore all black, and we had to, because myself and our other brother are very much so leaning into the dark side of things. I'll just say that Hybrid is probably a little more gray, or not gray, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But we were all wearing black, and some customers actually kind of got mad at us. Like, there's some people that are like, "Oh, they're Sith," and like didn't like really want to buy from
that's
us.
how much people respond to that, right? They
Yeah.
really respond to that. Just the idea. Imagine if you could tell a bad guy from a good guy as to whether or not he's wearing black.
Yeah.
But yeah, people. I mean, it's really in us to go, to have fear and sort of loathing for the Sith. But a lot of Sith characters now, and in the Acolyte, they were showing that there is gray to it. We're not just talking about evil people and good people all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we go down a little bit of lore, Lucas is very emphatic that if you are proclaiming dark side, then it is evident to everyone around you that you are out of balance, and that dark means that cloudiness of I don't know where I'm at and I can't stand. And I love that we, as the fans, kind of make it ours in ways like, I know we're throwing the word gray around, but in more or less just saying, yeah, like there's no cut and dry, like there's a reason that Vader is Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does he have to be so dramatic and come in on the TIE fighter? No, but yes, he does. He's freaking Darth Vader. Yeah, you guys where I'm coming from. I love that you guys are taking this more community approach too, because I feel like if we are watching these movies and reading these books and digesting these games and we can put pieces in our hands, and like you said, like growing up, you're just Hasbro telescoping, you're just killing each other with the freaking plastic sabers. That's a common ground that many people all over this US of A experienced growing up. Star Wars has the ability to connect from wherever you're from and whatever your presence is. It's such a big and great, wonderful thing. And that was one of the things I felt from you guys. Of all the folks that we spoke to, there were two. One was where we got this from, or Vess. That dude was really awesome. Try to get him on the show. But then also you guys. And just that sense of community and wanting that community to flourish is extremely important. I know to us, but now I know to you guys. Hold on one second. We just got a bit. Well, but you're the only person watching the show right now, Andrew. How can you be on the show if you're the only one watching?
I don't know. I'm breaking the fourth wall here.
You are. Welcome to the show, Andrew. Andrew, we have Ty and Abby from Oken Saber Armory. Andrew is a frequent flyer on the show now and then, and he is one of the co-hosts on MCU Mondays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And are you a co-host official or no? Just join MC.
I'm
Cantina.
Sort of official, yeah.
Cantina Happy Hour on Thursdays, and those are on the Feast of
Fandoms. Feast of Fandoms, yeah.
There you go. So, welcome to the show, Andrew.
This one.
We're talking sabers with Oken, and we just got through talking a little community. That's one of the things I was saying that kind of drew me to this group is just how interactive and customer friendly. Like it was like instant rapport with you all, and it wasn't just us. Like we could see those interactions being very genuine and seeing you guys light up, like when these people light up. So I'd like to kind of go down that path a little bit, like. You talked about, kind of bringing community and these sorts of things. What do you get out of this besides a business, right? But I mean, you're doing it for a bigger, broader reason. 3
things. Number 1, I have more sabers than I've ever had in my life right now.
Oh,
right? So there's pros. 2, I'm an extrovert. I really love going to cons, and really, other than I think I'd only been to maybe 1 or 2 in my whole life before we started doing this. Mm-hmm. It's been really fun to go to so many cons and to meet so many people and to see awesome cosplays. And we've actually hung out and had dinner with the 501st and the Mandalorian Mercs at different shows. And we've met just a ton of really, really, really cool people. And actually, we've even, of course, when you're at a show, you're usually not the only saber vendor. We weren't even the only saber vendor at College Station. And so we've actually met a lot of really cool people that are doing the same thing as us. And So it's been just fun to just hang out and talk to people who like sabers too, you know? And then from Tybor's side, I think he probably has more to say than this, but I mean, I know from his point of view, he really loves what he's doing with the sabers and really taking the community and where saber spinning's at right now to the next level.
So yeah, I mean, we meet people who are engineers and school teachers, and it's a bit of a cliche thing to say, but everyone's a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And when Abby first approached me about maybe doing the social media and kind of being the face of the company, I was hesitant because I like my privacy. I'm kind of more of an introvert, so I didn't know if I wanted my face where everyone could see it. And I remember Abby said, "Well, it's just going to be the Star Wars people." And I said, "Abby, the largest fan group of any fan group. You're talking like billions of people here."
Yeah.
But it's been really cool. I mean, it is, again, cliche, but talking to people, I've made connections that I didn't expect. I mean, we've met Rosario Dawson briefly, and of course you get your photo, but she was super sweet. Abby mentioned Ewan and Hayden, but we've also met a gentleman named Demetrius Bistrevsky. He was Darth Vader in the Kenobi series. He was a sweet actor there. And he's actually very skilled with sabers also. Wow. And we were at Rebel ScumCon in Texas several months ago, and he saw me from afar just kind of practicing with my sabers, and he decided to come over and talk to me. And he was something of a mentor. He said, "Hey, you're doing this thing, maybe try this other thing." And he is quite skilled. He practices and he travels abroad to learn swordsmanship and stuff. And he showed me some things like before him, I hadn't ever tried to dual wield. I hadn't had any interest, but now that's all I want to do. And learning a lot. And again, there's kind of an art in the saber play. I call it sabercraft. There is a real art in it, and I've been able to teach some people at cons. And again, the fact that Star Wars brings so many people so much joy makes it all worthwhile. Yeah. And then the fact that I get to help some people, and I am going to be putting a lot of tutorials online. I mean, plenty exists already, but I do think I have quite a bit to add, and I'm learning a bunch myself. That's my contribution too, because it's super fun to do this and to go outside, when it's a little bit dark outside, and really it's like meditative. There's something good about it. It's like a martial art. There's something just plain good about doing it. So, and I get to do it, and it's something I enjoy. And I've got my little side business. Abby said she has a day job. I have as well, but now I get to do this cool thing that has to do with Star Wars, which I wouldn't have otherwise imagined, and have fun while I'm doing it.
Man. You got me all giddy now. I'm going to have to pull these down and freaking go out back and take tutorials.
I think there's a lot of people that collect sabers. Obviously, character sabers are a thing, and we do have a couple here that we can show on the podcast too when the time comes for it. But we also, all of our character sabers we offer them in combat blade as well as in a Xenopix or a Profi or whatever suits your fancy. So nice. You can actually battle with Luke's saber and then unscrew the blade, and it's a beautiful piece for your office as well. And so we've made all of our sabers that way so that you can buy whatever saber you want. If you want Rey's, if you want Darth Vader's, of course, if you want Palpatine.
Balin Skull.
Anybody.
Balin Skull.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, we care a lot about, obviously, the look, the feel, the way they work and everything, but also just the utility aspect of it and actually being able to spin it and use it and fight with it and duel with it and all the things. So
I will say those older, the master replicas that I have, I'm old, guys. Like you were talking about, being whatever, Phantom Menace. I'm like, oh, jeez. But like I got teeth marks on my blades because I'm spinning or playing in the house and my dog, jumping at it. Because there was no blades like that. Like it is what it is when it was built, and I'm screwed. It's forever broke. Unless do you guys do saber repair? No, just kidding. What I think is cool about the functionality and what we've been seeing of sabers, and it's awesome you guys are down that path, is that they can actually, you can duel and learn actual choreography and oh wait, yeah, you guys had he went like this with the saber and it started.
Yeah, they all have motion control.
So,
Yeah.
mine's like the switch, right?
Right.
But when he was demoing for us, there was this, like he was gonna fight, and it like, man, I know I'm all giddy. I can't even talk right now. I'm so excited. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
they're
like
pretty
sabers.
They're really cool.
Okay, Balin skull. If you got that Balin skull, I gotta see the Balin skull. Hold on, let me make you the front and center here, because man, nope, not me.
Almost there.
Almost. Wait, I don't.
Grandpa with technology.
Oh, you're so fun. Okay, but now
we're blocking.
All right, are you ready?
We're almost there.
okay, almost. Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, hold your breath. I'm going to show you.
Hey, Balin.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Holy crap.
Oh my gosh.
And this is the weathered version. So we do
It's-
have
Ooh.
non-weathered and weathered. Of course, I don't think we've sold a single non-weathered. Just so you know. everyone wants the weathered, and of course, yes, you do pay more for it to look damaged.
Yes.
But
What money? Come
Stop
on.
and take my money.
it is
Yeah.
nice and close so they
You can always make more money. Come on,
So, your lighting. Talk about your lighting, because Balin's is not quite red. It's kind of an orangey. If it were to light up with your, would it be orangey, or do you get a choice?
You want me to handle that? Or you-
All the sabers do all the colors. So many of them are RGB coloring. So yeah, you can actually, there is a preset for Balin.
Mhm.
Am I correct in that, Abs?
I actually don't know.
I think there's a preset for Balin, but even if there's not, yes, if you want somewhere in between red and orange, or to really match, you can go in between red and orange and get the kind of reddish orange that you need. Or if you want between blue and green, you can get a kind of teal color, and so on.
This is a really bad time to be hearing all this. My anniversary is this weekend,
Well, then
and I don't think I could buy her a saber.
Yeah, Christmas too. But yeah, so they have, so depending on the saber, they have either 16 or 32 presets as far as different sound fonts with a set color. But then once you're on a sound font, you can put it into RGB cycle mode, and it'll go through, literally slowly go through all the colors. So you can easily select an orange or red orange or a red purple or whatever you want to do as far as that goes.
This is not your grandpa's lightsaber, is
It's
what you're
not
saying.
your grandpa's well, they were always a little old though, so maybe. But yeah, so it goes through all those, and then all of our sabers also connect to an app.
God bless it.
Wow.
You can load your own things onto it through the app as well. So you could feasibly, get sounds. I'm sure somewhere on YouTube somebody has clipped together sounds of Balin's saber or something. And you could actually preset those onto your own saber through our app. So you can completely customize it. You could even, with our programmable sabers, you can get really crazy with it. We're actually, for our Texas-based customers, building a diesel saber. I know, sounds crazy, but we recorded different sounds of a diesel truck. Yeah, who really, really loved his truck. And so we were like, you know what, we can do that for you. And so we actually built a custom diesel saber where all the sound effects are a diesel truck. It's crazy, but
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
There's nothing else like that on the market.
Nothing else like that out there.
Yeah.
Trendsetters. So, what is your favorite saber in your collection? You said, Abby, you had a lot of sabers. What is your kind of piece de resistance?
Okay, so people have asked me this obviously several times because, making conversation at a booth and everything. And I never have a good answer because it's so hard to choose from all of them. It's crazy. So let me think about that for a second. I know you have, I know what your favorite is. You go first.
Ty?
Aesthetically, for some reason, I don't know why it appeals, but there's a Sirajunda saber that we have and sell, and that's
I can show it.
yeah,
on
we should. The look of it just gets me. It makes me feel. It looks to me like a genuine bona fide Jedi was using this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it up here.
So we got Oken Armory, Saber Armory social stuff in our description. Hopefully, if not, it will get there. We've got it on the bottom.
Nice.
Here is their site. Let me make it so I can see better. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Oh, yes.
So, like all of our sabers, it is metal. Like it feels really good in the hand. I know Zane played with quite a few sabers when I saw him there, so he knows what I'm talking about. They are really high
They
quality.
feel really good.
But the Seer Junda saber in particular has this kind of aged linen wrap around it, and it just, it really is beautiful. I totally understand why it's one of Tybor's favorites.
Like I bet, like just in your palm, it just feels different and special. Like,
Mhm.
man, babe, I need like $800.
Yeah.
My whole Christmas list is just going to be sabers.
Oh,
Yeah.
so, you have different blade length as well.
Yep.
You want to tell us about what this stuff means for people who are watching or will watch later?
Yeah, so obviously we have different blade lengths. We have some presets here on our website for those who were to order online. 36 inch is the standard for most people. They order 36 inch. When we go to shows, we pretty much all of our sabers, we bring our 36 inch. But for kids or shorter people like me, 32, 28, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to spin a lot and stuff like that, obviously different blade lengths for different size people. That's just
True.
kind of the thought behind that. We also can custom trim our combat blades to any length. And if it's an order through the website, we could do any length. So if you shoot me a message and say, hey, I ordered this in 32, but I want it in 34 for some very specific reason, you do you, I can make it happen. So
That's
we've got
cool.
different blade lengths. And then you see here, we have combat, dynamic, and pro. This is kind of what I was talking about. I've said it a little bit. People that are really into sabers will know what I'm talking about when I say Xenopixel or Neopixel. And that just basically means LEDs all throughout the interior of the blade itself. So it has a little bit more dynamic look to it, especially in the daytime. It lights up very well. And then on top of that, there's some different ignition and blade effects and everything. So our combat blade is going to be a hollow blade or a baselit for those who really know what they're talking about. Basically, just the light emits from the core of the hilt itself. But you can actually combat with those. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Combat blade is great for some things. Dynamic blade if you're really cosplaying and want to be flashy and have different ignition modes. And then our pro is also known as a pro fee. And that's our programmable saber. That's what I was talking about with the diesel. So, I mean, just depends on what you're trying to do with your saber and what you're looking for. And also how much money you want to spend, because they do go up in price as well.
I see that.
My favorite saber, though, since we were talking about it, I actually really like Depa Balaba, which is, do you guys even know who that is?
Sure. I think so. I feel like I know the name.
Yeah.
Maybe that one's not on my...
Oh, that's the.
Is she a Clone Wars character?
Yeah, she was in Clone.
She's
I think
Kanan
she's in Clone
Jarrus' master.
That's right. Okay.
It's black with a little gold on it, and it's really pretty. I guess I don't have that one on my website, so I'm going to write a note to myself to
She was
add that.
in Bad Batch, I think.
That's right.
That's
Very
right.
nice.
Yeah.
She was in Bad Batch defending Kanan, yeah. So I really like her saber. Just it's simple, clean, it's pretty. We do have this saber. It's Kakruk's saber, who's a Sith Lord that not very many people know about. Oh, that's another good one. This is the one I'm trying to. And this one's pretty cool. He's a legend Sith.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that is cool.
And it's got the kind of heat. What is that called technically? Like heat tinting?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Man, that's
It almost reminds me of
beautiful.
Malgus's.
Yep,
With
it
the
is very
bronze.
similar. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of a unique one that we have, and it's pretty cool. So that's a good one.
So the point is we have options.
The point is, we got a lot of sabers.
We got a lot of sabers. Before the show, you were showing me kind of the high level where it just had all kinds of fun toys to look at. See if I can pull that up real quick, or if you can pull that back up just to scroll through to show.
Oh,
folks.
just our website?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
So, do you?
So this is our homepage,
There it
and
is.
if you just go under all sabers, or you can go under character collection, what depends on what you're looking for.
My
We
God.
we have over 10 pages of
Jeez.
sabers, any color you want, anything you want.
Dark Saber.
Darth Jadis.
Dark rays I actually have right here.
Oh my
Dark
gosh.
Ray.
One. Okay, hold on. We got to swap off here. Hold on. We got to put you guys back center. Come on, get in there. Oh, well, it's not going. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Hide on stream. And then we'll put you guys here. All right. Oh!
So Dark Rays, even though, it's too short-lived, I think she should have stayed there. I'm just saying. I think she should have stayed Dark Ray. I would have loved that. But it has the kind of, so it does actually fold.
Oh, wow.
So when she's in that scene at the, in the Rise of Skywalker, she just goes down. Like that.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, that is cool.
Yeah, so Rays is pretty cool.
Looks like I'm going to need to take out a bank loan.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
I'm
How
sure
many credit
we'll
cards
do
do
a
you
Christmas special, man.
And then we also have, since we're here, I'll show you the other saber I brought for this occasion. We just released, finally, I've had a lot of people asking for this all summer long, the Stranger Saber from the Acolyte.
Yes.
Ooh,
America.
So
nice.
you can have it. It is a little pricey. I believe it's around $600, and it only comes in our dynamic version. So it's a Xenopixel blade. But it actually does detach at the bottom here, and then has a secondary
That you can put.
core for a short little blade and then the long blade. So it's definitely a really nice one as well. And just simple. It's like a dark gray, almost black, real Sith looking.
Yeah, I totally am an idiot. I kept saying the wrong name. Kamir. That's Kamir's saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying Merrick. No.
Although we do have Merrick's saber as well.
Well, that's a pretty sick saber too.
And it is really, really, really cool.
Very cool. Hey, Cam, what's up, man? Cameron
Hey.
is joining in the chat. I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's going to join the show? Who knows? That's all right. Man, so far we haven't even talked about anything. Oh, wait. There we go.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about all the Inquisitorius and their sabers, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Would it be safe to say, Dr. Dana, that you are partial toward Balin's saber? Would that be your number one?
Yeah, man. So I don't know what it is about him, and maybe it's just like
Similar
Rey's
age,
acting.
Similar
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it's similar.
You're
age.
so mean. Just there's something about him, his quest, his patience. Clearly, he's out of balance. He's dark side. He's just not there. You can join After Dark. Cool. Don't forget, folks, After Dark on our Discord, we all gather. If the guest joins, they can too, but we all gather and just talk trash, but it's not recorded, so we can actually really get into dirty details about
You
things
see the
like
real us.
how terrible-
This is
Real
not the
us.
real us.
how
people.
terrible
Yeah.
We're
Disney
fake
has
right now.
done to our show. But anyways, I digress.
We're not even Star Wars fans.
We're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, Balin, something about him. We went into this ad nauseum, I think, on a single episode. We really focused on Balin and Shin. And I was so depressed when I mean, obviously, a lot of people are for other reasons. He's a brilliant actor when Ray Stevens died. But it's almost like now there's this mystique around him and his character. And yeah, I see myself very much. I was very much a Palpatine kind of guy. I still am a Sith architect guy. But Balin is the wander. He's the guy that's he's not really in it for that, right? He's in it for the self. He's in it for his own edification, to be bigger and better and badder than he was today. Really dig that. Wow, I'm going off. So.
And he seems to have like a level of dignity to him too.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Zane, Andrew? You had to name a favorite.
Favorite
Lightsaber
Sith or favorite?
Any lightsaber.
Favorite.
wield.
Any of them.
It's a hard one.
I don't want to be basic and say Luke, so I'm trying to think.
Why not?
No, Luke's
Man,
great.
there's nothing like that scene. Look, I lived that scene, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not in the theater, and that's a whole nother show again. I've still never seen Return of the Jedi in the theater. That's when he ignites that crap, because we didn't know it could be green. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I just interrupted. My bad. It's my show. Dude.
No, that's I'm gonna go with Luke at the moment.
That's a good one.
That one?
To think. Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Come on, Zane.
Oh, I'm gonna go with another very basic answer. Favorite lightsaber is Revan's, specifically the purple blade.
Which one? Okay.
Yeah, I love that it really showed the duality in his mind. Purple being both red and blue, both sides.
Yep.
And it had gold on it. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong.
It depends on which one you're talking about, but yeah. I can't remember if the silver one with the spikes on it is the red one or not. Is that the red one or is that the purple one?
Oh, the purple one's the one with the spikes on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
the purple one's the one with the spikes on it. So that one doesn't have gold. It's
It
just,
doesn't have gold, but it's still cool.
his other saber has gold though, because we have both. So I would know.
You were talking about getting into the games. Abby was where you kind of started with all this. You're talking about like SWTOR, or are you talking about the Knights of the Old Republic, like
So
the
I was
online game?
I was talking about SWTOR, like the online game. In fact, it's actually at the bottom of my screen on my taskbar on my desktop.
Still today.
Always.
Still today.
You still play it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, I recently got kind of mad because when I was first getting into it, and this was probably 8-9 years ago, that I was really into it, like hours a day playing on this game. Very much so, like living vicariously through this game. You know what I mean? Just really into it. And I had a couple friends that were gamers, like my gamer friends. I tried to get them to play it with me, and they never did. And I was constantly trying to get them to play. Fast forward 8 years, and they're playing it all the time. And I'm like, where were you guys when I was trying to get you to play 8 years ago? And now they've completed all 8 quests, and and they went crazy, and I was kind of annoyed by that. But yeah, I was super into that game, and I started out as a Sith Inquisitor in that storyline, which is certainly one of the best in that game. That's
easily
storyline.
It's
and so I was hooked after that, after going through that. So
yeah. Zane and I played it day 0, so I sat there forever waiting for a server to like it was terrible. But that was like we didn't have Star Wars Galaxies anymore, and Galaxies was I still play it every now and then. They have a couple of EMU servers. I'll jump on one and just play. It's so open world. You can be a moisture farmer if you want. Like just do whatever you want. But yeah, SWTOR I played a lot, and then I dumped out because I'm a grown man and kids and whatever. And my son starts playing. He's like, "Oh, you only have like 3 characters max? I've got like 8. Like what? Wait, what?
I've already finished all of them. What's the deal?
What have you been playing?
What have you been doing? Rocket League? Rocket League. So, Ty, what about you? I mean, you were talking about like Phantom Menace and these sorts of things. I mean, when it comes to kind of this is really the turning point in my life where I said Star Wars is in me. Can you pinpoint a moment like that?
It would have been too early for me to remember. I know going down to Walmart one day, it was Kmart actually, and it saved enough money to buy the trilogy when it came out on VHS.
Oh my goodness!
This was even before the new edition. They did like a special edition. It was even before that. Yeah, no, it was way too early. I was in maybe out of kindergarten when I was really into Star Wars. But when Phantom Menace came out, it was kind of a revival because they were old movies. They predated me by 10 or 12 years, and then of course you don't see them until, for me, it was in the 90s somewhere. But when Phantom Menace came out, that if I had to, that'd be it, because that's when the lightsaber choreography really took off. And so that final Duel of the Fates scene in the Phantom Menace, that was probably it. I take my answer back. That was it, because I was all about the lightsabers, and that choreography was when they really like put into it. It wasn't like '78 choreography anymore, you know, or
Mhm.
so. And then Ray Park did such a good job with Darth Maul, and he did, you know, the things that are kind of silly in a fight, but that on screen look awesome, like doing the butterfly kicks and the other kind of martial arts acrobatics. I actually in high school started doing gymnastics and was doing that stuff as well. That was kind of my first love. So yeah, Phantom Menace, and since it came out and it was part of my youth, it didn't seem as removed, you know, because I was just a young kid consuming the classics, but now I was a young kid witnessing the classics take place, in their place in the second trilogy. Yeah, that would have been it.
That's good. Some folks we talked to, I think, kind of down your path though, that there's these. I just kind of inherently feel like I've always loved Star Wars, like, and it's hard sometimes to put a finger on when or where that started. Were your folks into Star Wars? Did they influence your love for Star Wars at all?
My dad was a Trekkie, and I had consumed some of the Trek stuff, but no, it was our elder brother who got me into Star Wars. I'm sure he would have shown me something. You know, some of the movies. We're watching Return of the Jedi with him. I think I saw Return of the Jedi before I saw anything else, but memory fades. But that was it. And like I said, you know, later playing TIE Fighter on the old Windows 3.1 with a little tiny joystick, and just doing that. And our brother, he was really into the dark side too, so that's why we had to play TIE Fighter. And he actually, I don't remember exactly what I'm trying to call the memory, but he had kind of an Imperial personality. Like I used to have we'd walk in Kmart and he'd do like a military turn, you know, where 90-degree turn, walking like a normal person. So I'd be following him. I'm 4 foot walking behind him doing a military turn. So it was really to his credit that I got into it at all.
That's awesome.
Thing.
It's a family affair, right? I guess.
So it's cool that now we have this little family business going on with the Saber company, and we just hang out and go to cons and nerd out together. Like we were all in LA, you know, nerding out about Ewan and Hayden, and
sure.
Cool.
No, and you're totally onto something with that. When we went to the Comic-Con, we had matching shirts and all the things. Well, those are what do they call? Not costumes.
Uniforms.
Uniform. Thank you. Oh, it's been a long day. Those are uniforms, and yeah, we're walking around with branded gear that's uniforms, and that's the only way I can get away with having all the fun shirts. I still got to pay for them. They're a write-off, and that's what I tried to explain. Like, just because you write it off, you still got to pay for it. Like,
right.
So, no, it's super fun having you guys talking about this today. I think went a lot longer than what I had anticipated, but I'm fine with that because, and they will be too, all the people that listen on the back channel, on the podcast. So
all of me,
all of you for now. It's election night. I thought we'd either have a lot of folks or very few. So either way, that's why these are recorded and put out on audio too. So just as a reminder for all you folks watching, you can also listen to us on Spotify, et cetera, as soon as I upload from the previous night. Yeah, so thank you guys. We're going to, I think, kind of move on to some fun stuff if you guys want to stick around for a little while. We only go another hour max. So if you guys are tired, you want to head out, that's fine. But we're going to start talking about a few things. Any last things
about get heated
before we get into that? Anything that the future holds? Where are you guys going con-wise, or anything to talk about over the next few weeks you guys will be doing?
Yeah, so we actually are going to, we don't have a con in the works. After LA Comic-Con, that was kind of, you know, that was a big con for us. So now we kind of took a break after a lot of traveling this summer. We are doing a Christmas in San Angelo trade days. So in San Angelo, Texas, we're going to have our nephew, Tybor, and I will not be there. It's just a small show, so we're not going to travel down. But our nephew is going to be there selling sabers. He was actually at College Station with me, Zane, so you probably met him there. But so we're trying to get our nephew into the family business a little bit too. So he's going to be there selling sabers, and so we will have a presence at that San Angelo Christmas show.
Apart from that, I would say I have a lot of social media projects in the works. I mean, there's going to be, as I mentioned, tutorials, but there are other things. So if anyone has any interest, they should follow us on TikTok or Instagram or both or neither. And there's going to be, I think, some cool stuff coming out that way.
Yeah.
And then
I started following you guys, so I'll see your posts and I'll whatever they're called. What's it called? Reshare? Not reshare. What do you call it? Thank you. Repost.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go follow real quick before I forget.
Yeah, go follow. Go on TikTok, follow them. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we post
Pull that
stuff
up.
that's a little more unique. Good saber spinning, if nothing else. The other thing I was gonna say is that San Angelo thing is November 16th and 17th. But then the really exciting thing that I can't say much about, but it is currently in development. Andrew, you weren't here yet, but I mentioned at the beginning of the call that my main day job is we have an engineering company.
Cool.
We are therefore engineers by trade who are now coming into the saber industry. And so we are currently working on an extending saber blade. That's not it's not like a crappy one. Like it's a legit, real looking, beautiful xenopixel extending blade that's going to be combat ready.
My God.
Wow.
So a lot of people have
Crazy.
seen or heard of Real Saber. They've been kind of going around a little bit, and we've met them and talked with them and stuff. Their product is different from what we're doing, though. What we are doing is going to be a combat blade, just as bona fide as any of our blades we have now that you have to actually screw on. So unfortunately, we're still at least a year out from this. It is quite the invention. There's a lot to it. And so I can't share many more details, but we are working on this blade. We have ideas. It's in prototyping stage, and it's going to be really cool. So if nothing else, follows for that too, because it'll be able to retrofit to not only our sabers, but also other sabers that are out there.
Nice. That's fantastic.
That is cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Cross promotion, right? Like you guys keep us in the loop, and we'll keep letting everybody know, and we'll get you back when that happens, and maybe as we grow, you grow, we grow. So that's fantastic, man. I saw like some videos of some folks working on that tech, and it's so to figure it out. So my hat's off to you guys and your engineering brains that mine cannot comprehend.
There've been a couple companies that have come up with something that, including Disney themselves, that have come up with one that looks good, but they're not actually combat
ready.
Yeah, you can actually. They're gonna bend as soon as you try to hit something. So
and then what they're gonna tell us is in 5 years they're gonna create a real lightsaber that turns on and can actually burn.
Listen.
Actually, it's funny. Oh, sorry.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
That because about 3 years ago, I was talking to our older brother. We were in mid-conversation. I said, Brandon, how much money do I need to make a real lightsaber? And he told me $1 billion. And I was like, okay, bet. I'm going to try my hardest to make $1 billion just so I can have a real lightsaber. So yes, Andrew, that is also on the docket once I have enough money for it.
Once you have $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
When I built my saber over at Savi, and people were asking, "Oh, what's it like?" I'm like, "It's real. I mean, it's not real, but it's real. Like it feels. I know lightsabers aren't real, kinda, but it feels like. How do you explain? How do you explain your sabers to someone like? Okay, it's like a Hasbro toy. Like how do you explain that if you don't have one present? How would you and not elevator pitch, but like how would you explain why your sabers are different in just a minute to Master Replicas, Hasbro, and whatever? You've done that over the course of the hour, but what would you say in just a quick 1 minute?
You want to do it, or do you want me to?
Let me think for a sec. You know what? If you pick one up, you'll find out.
Nah, sell me the pen. Give me a piece of paper. Wait, what?
I mean, that is true. When we're at cons, I just put them in people's hands because as soon as they feel it, they know the quality, the machining, the fact that they are metal, the weight of it is something a lot of customers talk about. We put a lot of effort into weighting them correctly so that when not only without a blade, but also when you put the blade in, the center of balance is really right where you want it to be to actually wield it, regardless of spinning or actually dueling. They just feel really good in the hand. They're not, my big complaint with the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge saber, because I've also built my own, and so has Tybor. We all went as a family, like in 2020, all years, we went to Galaxy's Edge.
So did we, and so did I.
How crazy would it be if we were
just
there?
brag.
Oh, I know, it was in November, I think.
Okay. We went in January 2020, like right before everything locked down. It was crazy.
Oh, I was this was after lockdown, and that was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet we had a slightly better experience because of that, but because it was before everyone freaked out. But anyways, long story short, those are a little big in my opinion. They don't feel like something you would actually like. They are definitely two-handers. At least mine is. It's pretty hefty. They're pretty thick. Whereas our sabers, I mean, even this double-bladed, you can see how perfectly it fits in my hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels the exact right width, weight, balance, and then also just the technology. Because, like I said, we can do custom stuff. We have an app.
I gave my answer because Abigail gifted me a lightsaber a year ago, and when I handled it, I thought, oh shit, okay. And then I found out, I was like, okay, well, what color is it? It's like, it's every color.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what sound does it make? It makes all the sounds. So
yeah,
you'll just find out. You'll find out. You understand?
That's cool. Oken Saber Armory, folks. Go check them out on all socials at Oken Saber Armory. Go to okensaberarmory.com, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, and Oken Saber Armory works as well. So it's
okay.
Armory.
I got you.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you all. This was super fun. Do it.
Let's talk politics.
Politics. Yes, let's go. I love that you are one of original trilogy, right? And that Abby, you're more of the prequel trilogy in age, right? Age range of where these things fall.
Tybor's probably more prequel trilogy, and I'm actually probably a little more sequel trilogy, because the movies that I saw in theaters actually were the sequels.
Oh.
Because I got into Star Wars through SWTOR, or however you want to say that. So I got into it through the video game and then watched the movies. But then by that time, all the movies have been out as far as the prequels and the original. So then the first movie I went to in the actual theaters was going to be Episode 7. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So did you all have any experience with Revan in the Knights of the Old Republic series?
I did. And Tybor hasn't played that game, so I don't think you're as familiar with Revan, right?
Not as, but I know the basic outline of his history.
Yeah, so that's where we're rolling, right? Is we're on election. I don't even have the election. I don't even know what's happening, and quite frankly, whatever. Yeah. I love Star Wars, and if I could just live in that universe, I'd be just fine. I'd find my way, like Balin. Revan and Malak, we have dedicated an entire show to, with just the loyalty that dude, Revan took Malak's face, and Malak still followed him. Like, there's something to be said for that sort of leadership and influence, not manipulation, right? Influence over someone that you've built rapport with, and that there would be that level of. Now we know ultimately what happened, but I mean, for real. So when we look at who we're pitting against each other, we're looking at a very tight Revan and Malak versus a kind of tight Palpy and Vader. But I mean, Palpatine's got to keep his guy at arm's reach, I think, more than Revan would have to do with Malak. So there's a lot of dynamic, I think, going on. There's a lot of things that happen in the past with the Star Forge and things of this nature that, yes, there was a mean streak to Revan, you could say. But also Palpy, we know, with Tarkin as his number one for a very long time, rule by fear of force, not just force. So you have a Death Star that maybe you only have to use once to prove your point. So I've laid the groundwork. We have Revan and Malak versus Palpatine and Vader. And if you had one vote on who you would want to be your rulers of the galaxy, who would it be and why? And who would like to go first? I know, Zane, you've been already thinking of this because you knew a week ago this is what we were talking about.
Doesn't make it easier.
Well, I can crack the seal. I don't even care, man. As much as I love Revan, I know so long as Palpatine's in power, I'm good. I'm good. And I say that because I will accept my role that he has deemed for me.
So you're scared. You're scared of
scared.
Palpatine.
And as long as I am deadly afraid of, like, I don't know what it is, man. Like, and again, on the show, I've written about it in the GNN stuff and archives. I'll put that stuff up after Abby redesigns my Sith Dominion website. We'll get all those articles up. But I find it very interesting to me that Palpatine is a person that could have truly been that kid that was just obscenely interested in current affairs and world like in the 8th grade. Like, who we all knew that kid, right? But he was plotting something, man. Like, always made me nervous. I was that kid, just so y'all know. And when we see Palpatine finally get to the point where he is in power, it really is all about little tiny bit of manipulation, but he had already laid the groundwork and influence, right? So Palpatine's always had my vote. He will continue to get my vote, as much as I love Revan and all of that story that I think we make a little cooler than it probably is. Palpatine's still my guy. And that's why, because I know he has put the thought and planning over his entire life into what he's doing. I'm down with that. Okay.
That's good.
I cracked the seal.
I can go next.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, all right.
So,
It's about to get heated.
it's not. So, Revan is a very charismatic person. You know, he was able to, if you play KOTOR, you are basically able to do so much dark side things, and your companions will still follow you. You know, it just goes to show like who he was. He was a very charismatic person, and I think that's good. That's amazing, but I think it's also dangerous. You know, did he really have a plan? And I don't think so. I don't think Revan had a plan. I think his plan was just to stop what was happening, and that's why he had power. He did that. On the other side, you had Palpatine and Vader, right?
Yeah.
And who's to say that it isn't good to have someone who's a little more, not against you, but just a little farther away from you? You know, you don't just need a yes man.
This is true.
And I think Palpatine, you know, he came in with the plan. He did the plan, and he executed the plan. And it worked. I mean, he has a track record of plans working out. So as long as you, like, just know your place, it would all work out.
And don't talk back, you will be fine.
Yeah.
So don't, there's always that sitting in the Oval Office, right? Like, we'll use our president as an example. Sitting in the Oval Office, like, you don't want the backhand, right? Like, you don't want to be the guy that's wrong. You don't want to be the guy that pissed off the president. You don't want to be the guy that maybe betrayed his trust, right? Regardless of where you stand on an aisle, you don't want to do that to that leader. Challenging the leader, that's important to help them grow and be better and bigger and stronger. But yeah, I mean, I'm out with that piece. I think Revan was a little too much for me. Like, if you cross him, I think I'd get a backhand too. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you could stand up to Revan? No.
Darth Revan? No, because that's Darth Revan. Revan and Malak is Darth.
No.
Or Palpatine.
I got a
you
feeling,
can't stand up to him either. He'll lightning force you. You know?
Yeah, well, you'll sit down real quickly with Palpatine.
So Ty, you're of the I'm guessing the Palpy era, right? What are your thoughts, Palpy versus Revan?
So I didn't have an answer as to my vote, so maybe I'm going to come to my answer in talking about it. And then I was going down a lot of roads trying to figure out, because there are a lot of details, and you can make a lot of cases depending on what aspects of each relationship you're trying to examine. You're right. Palpatine has a lot of political savvy, very useful. That I think greatly outbalances the Revan Malak pair. And in the business of politics, you got to do politics. I mean, there's war and tactician stuff, which is Revan's bread and butter. Of course, he's a genius at warfare.
Yep.
But you also have to schmooze and manipulate and promise things and lie about giving things, and that's Palpatine's whole shtick. I think he's very manipulative, and I mean, he, as you said, when he was a youngster, he longed for an extraordinary life for himself. He didn't want to be like an average person, and I think that's why he linked up with Anakin somewhat. Because he saw that in Anakin as well. You know, even Anakin was talking about he just doesn't want to be like a regular Jedi. He wants to be the greatest of them all. And so even in that scene where they're talking and Palpatine gives the story about Darth Plagueis the Wise, he even inserts that bit about he knows Anakin wants to live an extraordinary life as well. And but that has positive implications for a political career. But if you're talking about a leader, you know, a lot of ambition can also get you in a lot of trouble. Not that Revan and Malak didn't have a ton of ambition, because they did. But I'm just going to go with that's more Palpatine's domain of political acumen and savvy. To the credit of Palpatine and Vader, you do have a different dynamic. It's not as adversarial. You do have kind of this bulldog that is Vader doing the bidding of the master. So you don't have the conflict that you'd have with Revan and Malak of kind of this adversarial, antagonistic power dynamic that's going on between them, which could cause in a political situation, if they were to win some sort of election, a lot of instability. Palpatine and Vader, I think, would have a greater case for galactic stability. Even if that stability isn't in the best conditions, at least it's stable. Whereas I think you get a lot more conflict with the other pair. That said, if we're talking about Revan, you've been, and to be fair, Vader also went light, dark, light, right? But with Revan, you go light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, right? He's been through it all. And whereas, Palpatine is all dark side. And so I just tend to think, and maybe this doesn't follow logic, but it seems right to me, that if we're talking about Revan especially, you would expect that because of just the landscape he's been through and all the stuff he's seen, he's explored the light side, he's explored the dark side, he knows them both. You might have in some ways a wiser leader. But it depends on how you also might have a more conflicted leader. That's the thing, and you can make a case in any direction that way. I did do some research before this episode, even though I didn't come up with my official vote. I'm gonna chew on it still. I want to hear some other answers too. Maybe I'll jump back in.
Not from the dogmatic. Yeah, like not from. Yeah, man, that's a great point. There's so much more savvy, and I think that we chatted a bit about it before. That the whole Sith architect notion of Palpatine, right, versus the rule by force. I mean, we mentioned I said it earlier. What's it called? The Forge. What's it called? The what? Starforge. Seeking that out. We had, like you said in the game, there's I think a personal piece to Revan that was intentional by BioWare when it was written. And I say that because BioWare is just, I love BioWare. They're just genius. Right. That the character Revan, you could very much, I think, relate to, as we talked way earlier in the show, like the duality of man, et cetera, right? And Revan is one. I mean, he retired essentially and got married, freaking, and went off and had a family. Like, you just what? That's the Sith Lord. So yeah, big total difference in ruling. Total difference in how they asserted their power, how they got their power. And that's a great point. I never thought of it that way. That was great. Andrew, Abby, one of you.
I've had 30 minutes to think on this.
Well, but you also are still wearing a cowboy shirt after
this last game.
Actually, I took off my Dak Prescott jersey during that game and put on just a cowboy shirt because I was done.
I need an Aubrey.
You know what?
This isn't a sports show, but I'm done.
I don't even know why. Yeah, that I could do a whole show on.
No, not on this show though.
We could all do.
No. This isn't the Cowboy Dominion, so
not yet.
Anyways,
I
mean, I can roll over to Abby. I'm sure she's like already ready.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of. Yeah.
I've got a couple comments. I mean, Tyward said a lot of what I was thinking already. We already have an idea of what Palpatine's galaxy looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to see him as Emperor for a little bit. We're pretty familiar with what that's going to look like. What it's going to look like is, first of all, political genius to get there. Good on him. And manipulation, et cetera, et cetera. But once we're there, what it's going to look like is his idea of order, which is everyone's terrified of him. And there's not necessarily a lot of freedom happening, and you can't exactly speak your mind or speak up or do anything other than put your head down and do your job and make sure the empire and the emperor is happy, right? So we don't have as good of an idea what a Revan Malak campaign and galaxy would look like. And so that makes it harder to compare. One thing that Tyward talked about, with Revan having been a Jedi and then dark side, but then also a Jedi again. Palpatine was always just a Sith. Like, he was the freaking mastermind of the Sith, right? Like, there's no other side to him. Whereas with Revan, I feel like he does inspire loyalty. He inspires fear as well, but I feel like his followers are loyal for other reasons than just being terrified of him, right? They respect him as a leader. They weren't just manipulated into that. And I also think that there's a potential that maybe he could unite the light and the dark, maybe in some way, like he has connections with the Jedi. He married a Jedi, et cetera, et cetera. He was a Jedi. He is a Jedi. I don't know. Who knows? And then with the Sith, obviously he's proven himself to be very good at being a Sith. I mean, murdering people and causing chaos and having his way with the world. And so I feel like the Sith would respect him for that. And maybe those on the lighter side would respect him because they see him as less tyrannical than Palpatine. So that's one thing that I think about when I think about it. So I'd probably vote for Revan, but that's only because although I respect Palpatine is my favorite Sith. I want to say that he is because he's freaking cool. I think I would vote if I were to vote, I would vote for Revan Malak because I do feel like I know how Palpatine is going to turn out, and it maybe didn't go as well as we all hoped it would.
So right now on the poll on YouTube, it's 57-65. Option 2. What's option 2? Palpatine. So Palpatine and Vader are just 10 points. It's not a huge lead right now out of that many. So I think you're on to something. I think that maybe there's a relatability more to the characters. Malak, both. Malak was a Jedi too. Malak and Revan both. Whereas Vader we can potentially relate to and walking the lines. But Palpatine, I think, is a little bit harder. I think for me, I'm with you. Like, there's this kind of, I don't respect maybe for getting to where he did get without, yes, he killed people, but through the separatists and whatever, he killed some people. But he wasn't the one like Revan was commanding and leading and killing people, right? I like the manipulated piece, but wait, what? Sorry, I'm an old man and I don't understand technology. So when Streamlabs tells me this, I don't know why I clicked it. That was dumb. So I have no idea where I just was going with that. But we'll just move on. No, I'm with you. I think there's so much about Revan that I love, and I played the games or whatever. Like I love that character, but probably more because I can relate to him. But I respect Palpatine for what he accomplished without truly. I mean, he killed all the Jedi, most all the Jedi. That's holy crap, man. That's insane. What about you, Andrew? Do it.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about Revan as a character, but much like what Abby was saying, we know what a Palpatine, respect Palpatine, but know what a Palpatine empire looks like. And so I do think I would be more on the side of voting for Revan, see what that looks like. And then if it's like, oh crap, that was a mistake, Palpatine, we want you back, then maybe in the next election we can do that. But I would need to look at policies, how they answer questions, how they
Get him into the debate,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You know what? Let me just ask AI.
And to be fair too.
So you guys know.
I was gonna say.
Oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
Andrew. Go ahead.
I'm new to politics too, so I don't think I'm very educated to answer all this stuff. So
Well,
that.
How old are you? You're not. Wait, don't tell me. You're not supposed to tell me.
Oh, I can tell you.
72.
I'm old enough to tell you. Yeah. How'd you know? I'm 19. There you go.
Did you vote? Your first
I did.
election. Well, congratulations. That's fantastic. Good job.
Thank you.
Libertarian. No. So I had to put that.
I didn't even know what that was until I went to vote.
Okay, now I feel I have failed you, Anakin.
After dark.
just one thing. What an amazing time for you, man. Thank you for voting, because so many folks don't.
Yeah,
and that's why why else are we here? Okay, so coming back to Palpatine and Revan in a, I don't know that you could do any sort of debate with those two. I think you put two Sith in a room that are so different in the end goal's the same, but in the methods to get there, very different. I like to bring in real world into the show, as Dr. Dana Martin can do, and I really was glad we were doing the show today. It had to be, right? We have some folks running for different offices locally, people maybe even that you got folks running on a state level and of course at a national level, and it really is a privilege and responsibility to get out there and even make the choice consciously not to vote. Fine, like I'm down with that too. That's your right. But make a decision either way. If you don't make a decision, then you're compliant in whatever happens. Make a decision, whether it's consciously to object or to be there and vote. What happens, I think, in our Star Wars galaxy, right, is that we have people and things so spread out that it's very difficult to know what's happening when it's happening. And I think we get some of that in the politics of Star Wars, the movies that we've seen, the shows that we've seen. Let's be real. Like, Star Wars is politics. Yes, it's a space Western.
It's sort of like a war in the name. I mean,
the friggin' scroller, that it is a period of galactic civil war. That is literally the opening line of Star Wars: A New Hope. That makes my heart sink a little bit, because we praise and we give all of this attention and money to this story about a fascist empire that takes over and really makes it difficult on a lot of folks. One of the things in Phantom Menace that I thought was so interesting is slavery's outlawed. Well, fine, but y'all ain't got nobody out here helping us. I don't want to get too political on this show. That's not what we do. But certainly, I think it's important for us to touch on some things like just being a good human to each other, man. Whatever happens tomorrow, sun's still gonna come up, man.
You shouldn't ruin a relationship with your friends or family just because they feel differently than you. You know, like
Agree.
at the end of the day, that's family's more important. And I would never hate a family member if they voted differently from me.
Look, 4 years from
Because
now,
just like
we're gonna have another vote, right?
yeah, just like I want my opinion respected, I'm gonna respect theirs. I mean, that's just wish that's the way it was. Unfortunately, it's not always that way.
No, we got too many Anakins out there. Whiny crying baby.
Have
Just
you
kidding.
guys, let me jump in. Have you guys, are you familiar with this book? It's The Philosophy of Star Wars or Star Wars.
What is that?
I've never seen that.
Ooh, I've never. No.
There are two versions, and then the one I bought some while ago is the two versions combined, so it's the whole thing. And it goes, there are different contributors, different authors, and they talk about all manner of philosophical topics, drawing from Hegel and Kierkegaard and Nietzsche and whoever else, but bringing into the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
I guess I just was reminded because of what Andrew said. There's one essay in here that talks about loyalties to society, civil loyalties and duties versus familial or friendly loyalties. And the case was made in that particular essay that all throughout, certainly the original Star Wars and then later on too, but the original Star Wars trilogy, you've got all the main characters basically risking their lives more for their friends and family than for the society. I mean, one example I gave was when Luke went to Jabba's palace to try to save Han, he was putting the rebellion at risk because he was so important to the rebellion, and jeopardizing himself in that effort was a risk to society, was a risk to his civil duties. But his relationship with his friend Han superseded that risk. And same thing with Han, you know, he's all in it for himself. And finally, when he shows up and helps Luke destroy the Death Star, he doesn't do so because he's trying to help society. He's helping his buddy. So just based off what Andrew was saying, you should really pick up the book. It's an excellent book, excellent read.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But
if you guys could shoot that to me, I'll put it in the description too.
Yeah. It's called The Ultimate Star Wars and Philosophy.
Got that, Zane? Because I'm not typing.
Oh, I already have it searched up.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Awesome. No, that's fantastic. What and we've played there's what was that, Andor? Yeah, Andor, where you have Skarsgård doing that speech about what he sacrificed, and I'm not gonna get emotional now. Well, maybe I will because of the bottle of wine, which I forgot to show you guys. Not you guys, Oken, but the fans. It's the Frankenstein one again. Is where I'm at. 19 Crimes Frankenstein.
My favorite type.
Yeah, it's all gone. Okay. Why do you laugh at me like that? I swear, I don't even know why I have you on the show, Andrew. Just kidding. So I really think that when we pull back and we look at these two, there's so like you said, there's so much more, I think, in the political landscape, but also the philosophies of, say, the Skarsgård character. I can't remember his name. The philosophies of the stranger, the philosophy, like there, you can find someone to relate to in this universe on a very deep level, whether that is a Revan or a Palpatine or a Vader. And let's be honest, I don't think they're trying. Well, maybe lately they're trying to write characters for a certain demographic or people, whatnot. But when it was Lucas, it was like, this is just for kids. Like we're only going this direction, and we want to make it fun and exciting, but with some depth. And I think we got a lot more than what he bargained for, quite frankly. Thanks for that book suggestion, Ty, and we will absolutely post that. All right, let's move on to Skeleton Crew. Again, I gotta pimp my articles, which you can't read right now until I get Abby to redo stuff. The new Star Wars. I have that on the link, don't I? Someone pull that up? No. Did I not put it there?
Do you want to react to the trailer?
Yeah,
I can pull it up.
Oken Saber, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. This has been super fun.
Yeah, it's been fun
Thank
for
you.
us.
Yeah.
Sorry. Stop. I got it.
Sure.
Nobody cares. Just kidding, Andrew. Thank you for joining, Andrew. Oh, don't go off.
Yeah, I feel really welcome tonight. Just
Most of the time you're welcome. No, I'm just kidding.
very. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get a copyright again. Yay! Here we go.
I love it.
Yeah, we always get copyright slam for this crap. And all we're doing is like helping them.
Play it just once. Play it once.
What are you in for? What are you in for?
I found something buried in the woods.
Dad,
This is unacceptable. Do you understand?
what do you think it is?
Don't touch anything. What did you do?
We're lost. Really lost.
Stay together.
We just need some directions home.
Come on, kid. Pay up. Whoa.
Where'd you two find an old Republic credit?
Over here, quick. I'll get you home. We'll make a partnership. But we have to move fast. I need you to take the controls.
Okay.
Neil? Neil?
A crew of murderous pirates is coming.
Something's wrong.
They're not going to just turn up. We need to find them.
We're not alone down here.
Be warned of booby traps. Pirates and mountains where none dare to go.
If you hear this, don't give up. No matter what.
Da, da, da.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It looks very fun. I like it.
I remember
Yeah.
DJ Elliott saying from what he saw, it was really good.
Yeah, we had DJ Elliott on. If you're not familiar, he's the dude that's in all the Comic Cons doing all the DJing. Wears a bald guy with the crazy jackets. We had him on the show. I actually went to college with the guy. He's freaking awesome. DJ Elliott. He's the Star Wars guy. Star Wars DJ guy. You're right. He did bring up Skeleton Crew and talked about how we might be pleasantly surprised.
I
So
mean,
I,
they
look,
dropped Old Republic.
they did name drop Old Republic. When I saw those, I went, oh my gosh. Oh, and they said it. I was all excited.
You were
It
fangirling.
wasn't
Yeah.
Imperial credits, and it wasn't Galactic Republic credits. I was like, I know what those are.
Old Republic credits.
And the Jude Law, that's exciting. He's a hell of an actor, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with this character. So I want to know y'all's thoughts on the trailer. This is the last trailer we'll get before December, is what we're told. Ty, Abby, what do you guys think of Skeleton Crew?
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. Also, if I've learned anything from the last few shows that have come out, I feel like Star Wars is kind of doing a bad job with their trailers. I feel like the trailers for the Acolyte were not great, and once I started watching, I understood why. It's because they had to be careful what they put in the trailer, or else it would give a lot away. And so I kind of lean that way with this trailer. You know, it's not like it's a bad trailer or anything, but it doesn't really say a whole lot, really.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't really. There's obviously a group of kids. They find some ship. They go somewhere. They have Old Republic credits, and Jude Law's there. That's kind of like all we really get from the trailer. And so I think I'm certainly going to watch it. Obviously, I watch everything Star Wars, and I always will, even if it ends up being bad. I will enjoy it regardless because I love Star Wars that much. And I certainly lean towards loving Star Wars more than hating on it personally.
Amen.
But I don't know, the trailer itself, I wasn't super, I was kind of underwhelmed by the trailer itself, but that's, once again, I think there's a reason for that, and I'm going to watch it regardless.
That's very honest review of that trailer. When I saw the Acolyte trailer, I about lost my shit. I was so excited, and probably shouldn't have been, clearly, now that we know. But the trailer it's don't judge a book by its cover, right? They did a great job with that Acolyte trailer, and I was so happy to see Trinity back in the movies doing that kind of crap, and we barely got to see her do that kind of crap. So, whatever. Yeah. Zane, you're dying here. What was that? Sorry, Abby.
I said she probably got paid a lot for that 2 episodes.
I mean, do you blame her? Take the job, get the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrie Ann Moss, I love you. Not as much as Daisy, but still. Okay. Zane.
So I am actually I just found the video and went to the end. That looks like Hondo's kind of skull, with the spikes coming out of the side.
Hondo.
I need to see a Hondo.
But this is old. This is old. This is Old Republic.
No, it's not.
This is not today. This is not when Hondo. This is not after Hondo.
Sure.
After Rebels and all that. No. This is pre. I thought
it takes place
High Republic
in the New Republic era of the Star Wars universe. So yeah, after Empire or after Return of the Jedi.
Really? Okay. Well, I have my timeline wrong. I don't even know why I have a show. Good night, y'all.
I need Hondo. I need some Hondo. I mean, if they're talking pirates.
But he was a Weequay, and the Weequay were, notorious pirates, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Skarsgård is Luthien. Oh, you sent that a while ago.
Yeah.
Because I was calling him Skarsgård, not Lutheran. Lutheran. Yeah.
Lutheran.
Lutheran. It was just Reformation Day, to be fair. Okay.
True.
All right, where you at, Andrew? Where you at with this?
So do I give my full thoughts now or wait till Thursday? I'll just give some thoughts now.
Oh my goodness.
Do both.
Hold on. Are you holding out giving opinions so that you can put it on the other show?
Do both.
Come on, dude.
I'm kidding.
Look, I love you, David Furr in MCU. I mean, that too. But Cantina Happy Hour. Debbie, you're not here tonight. I can't help you out.
I gotta represent.
Come on, Andrew.
I think the trailer looks fun. I like the almost Goonies vibes it has a little bit. The music kind of makes me think of Guardians, a little bit. Yeah. I'm having to get used to that in Star Wars, and I prefer if they're gonna do music like that in a series and a movie. So that's fine.
Ooh, that's a really good point. What if we get really good music in this?
Yeah.
If it's comparable to Guardians and it's in the series, I'm with you, Andrew. I'm cool with that. But I need some Williams-y stuff for the movies.
Yeah.
I really do.
Because it also looks like a series that would have that kind of music in it anyway.
Light,
just with
uplifting.
Yeah. It's it just has a Star Wars label on it. So, and kid actors are it's hard to be a good kid actor. I'm not saying I would be any good, but so it'll really depend on their chemistry and do they do not a good job if they're actually kids, not trying to be adults or whatever.
I don't like kids.
Kid, clearly.
As you have Darth Vader poster in the background of your video. Yeah, we know you don't like kids. We get it.
Right.
Do we need to do some digging into your past?
Oh my goodness. No, Andrew, I love listening to your point of view on some of this because while you and Zane are a year and a half or whatever apart, your rearing was much different than his, and so still that dynamic is just a little different. And I love hearing because you guys are close. I love hearing your differential opinions sometimes.
And here's the thing, I'll say this: the series could be bad. I'm not saying it will be great. but I'm hoping it is. I mean, we just have this trailer.
Yeah, well,
I like the retro vibe.
Raise your hand if you want the series to be good. Okay, yeah, precisely.
Right, yeah,
So,
that's obvious. But yeah.
without Cam's not here, so we're not going to go on our Kathleen Kennedy tirade. But like this, like we want it to be great.
Mhm.
We will watch it, and we will watch it regardless.
I have a question for you guys.
Uh-oh.
So supposedly Skeleton Crew's in the same kind of timeline as Mandalorian and a lot of these series, right? How would you feel if they were like basically pulled another Boba Fett and somehow pulled the Mando into this show as well? Would you like that? Would you like the cameo? Or would you be like, guys, quit doing this? Like,
Again, where is Cam when we need him?
I think I'm going to say no, because
no.
it doesn't feel like a show that Mando would need to be in.
Grogu,
Right.
what if Grogu wants to join the kids? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Grogu
Man, how
escapes
much
and Mando has to
can-
find him.
How
I
much
can
can you
see
milk
that.
one character? I've got my share of Grogu stuff, but come
Like,
on.
it'd be cool if you just saw him like as they were
little
walking by,
Grogu.
like he's just in the background.
You know
Like,
what?
little
That would
cameo.
probably be the best way
That's
to
true.
do that.
Book of Boba
Yeah.
Fett, not so much.
They're
Both
like
terrible.
the kids are flying in a ship and they pass Mando.
Yeah, like,
I
that'd
think
be
it's going to
cool.
be super fun. I think you have kind of the Lost in Space slash children Goonies.
Kind of got a
slash
Spielberg
Star
feel
Wars.
to it.
Yeah.
Like 80s
What did you-
Spielberg. almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm down.
And
I
it
think
looks like
go ahead.
say it looks like it kind of like Andor in that it doesn't talk about the Jedi or the Sith per se. It looks like it's just separated itself from that part of the universe entirely, and I really like that.
I feel like we need to get Oken back on just to talk Star Wars stuff. What did you guys feel of Andor? Did you guys watch that?
Well, I was just going to say, when Jane said Andor, I'm a lightsaber guy, and Andor had none of that.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. That's how my
It was so good.
It was. I got the steelbook of it. I loved it so much.
Yeah, the political drama. It was to me, it's the best one. I think it's the best one.
Oh yeah.
Well, and people don't want to see political in Star Wars. Bullshit. Like we love it. Like we love all of the story. Like we know it is a time of galactic civil war. The opening crawler. Like we know, we get that. And in the first three movies, the first three are OGs. Like we didn't see that really, except for the Imperial Senate's been demolished. We now have the local mosque taking care of everything. That was like it that we had. How did we get there? Because that just doesn't happen from a galactic republic. And so it was good for me to see all of that. And then to see the deleted scenes, and then to see Starkiller and all of that stuff where you get the Rebel Alliance. Like, sorry, I get excited about this. But to your point, like, yeah, the political piece of Andor was amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering when the season 2 was dropping.
Isn't it the spring?
The spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sorry, I went off there, Ty. I didn't mean to.
Anytime.
I love it, man. Talk to me, man. So tell me about it from your perspective, Andor. Why that political piece struck with you?
Well, you kind of said some of it, but yeah, I mean, we're starting the story in the middle. That's the way George Lucas did it. And then we go back, then we go forward. And I know I have an interest in politics as is. And I think Andor did a really good job of showing like how oppressive the Empire was, not just some like kind of like a superhero, super villain kind of dynamic with your Darth Vader and whatnot, but like actual people, real citizens of the galaxy under real suffering and oppression by a real Imperial force. Because we need our main characters and our Jedi and our superlative characters, the ones with superpowers and whatever else. But there are also real people too. I think that brings it helps for me. It gives credulity to the whole franchise to see that it has real citizens and real working jobs and farming and doing other things and coming under the oppression of a force and fighting against it and all the conflict that comes from that. And then that's just like with the baseline of Andor. And then I thought the writing of Andor was better than the rest of them personally. And I found the acting believable. I have basically maybe one or two little qualms with something, but I couldn't even think of them right now. Overall, Andor's just too good.
Did you feel like that was a show that when you're chilling on your couch, you forget you're on your couch? You're so involved in what's happening.
Yep.
I remember the one episode where they take off and I don't remember which episode. I don't remember. I'm gonna actually butcher this, but you guys can fill in. So they're taking off in a spaceship and the galaxy is like exploding or something. And it's really colorful and beautiful and it's like this.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I watched that. That was the thing. Andor had incredible cinematography.
The meteor shower.
Yeah, it was like
meteor.
Yeah.
When I watched that scene, it was akin to when I watched The Last Jedi, and we don't have to get into The Last Jedi right now, but that one scene in The Last Jedi when it goes silent, and I watched that movie in the theater when the ship goes through the other ship and like it just went silent for like 10 seconds or whatever, and it was crazy, and I watched that in the theater, so it was even crazier, and that was a really cool moment in The Last Jedi. I felt very similar with this scene in Andor of like when they're going through the meteor shower, and it was just the most beautiful cinematography I had seen in Star Wars, and I was just like,
and
I love that.
That is also a good example of what I was saying, is because you have this planet that's been overtaken. There's an Imperial base here, but you have the native peoples, and if there were that kind of meteor shower, of course the native peoples would make it an event. You know, it's like a spiritual thing. They come and they observe it, just like as you would any other natural phenomena, the aurora borealis or what have you. And so that makes me think, look, there are different cultures. You got however many thousands or millions of planets under the galactic empire. They're going to have different cultures. And we see that with like the Mandalorian and everything, but this was, I don't know, it felt more genuine, more authentic.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Andor was very what's the word that they'll use for that shit? Like gritty, right? Like it was real. It felt very easy to get into because
Star Wars Game of Thrones almost.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
You know, with the political wise.
Yeah, well, Game of Thrones was extremely political.
Huh?
Sorry, can't speak. What do you think, Andrew? Or did we already talk to you? No, we didn't talk to you.
I don't know. I kind of zoned out for a little bit.
Seriously?
What did you
No, I'm
think of
kidding.
Andor?
Andor, dude.
I loved Andor. It's my favorite live action series.
Really?
I'm Star Wars live action. Sorry. Let me specify.
No, it's still. I mean,
Yeah.
This is where I have my preconceived. Like, you don't prefer the action, shoot 'em up, crazy as a 19-year-old.
I like that. There was something about Andor that just clicked with me.
Yeah.
And there would be heart pounding. I mean, I was just like
Circus and his character.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just invested in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you know how it's going to end for Cassian, but to see him at this point, yeah, I don't know. I just loved it.
It's
that's
the
really all I
line
can say
in
about
Rogue
it.
One where he says, "You just joined the rebellion. I lived it." Like that.
Yeah,
like,
I've been in
we
this
didn't
since I was
know
6.
what that meant, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like we're getting what that meant? Where we get to
I
see?
think so, because you do
his
see the scenes
change?
with him as a kid with, you know, in the forest, and you see like the Empire flying over and everything. And so he literally has been in it since a kid. He's been affected by it. He's choosing to fight against it.
I'm going to say something controversial here, man. So I think Andor is just a Han Solo story retold. And I say that, hear me out, because it's some dude who had no real vested interest and just wanted to mind his own business, but somehow, some way was impacted and was pulled in and became a hero of the rebellion. So I feel that Andor is, wow, why did I almost get emotional? The story of Han we should have gotten. Because I think what we got in Solo was rushed. I feel like we could have gotten a better story, and that source material could have been drawn upon from all kinds of stuff about that relationship between Chewie and Han, and they missed the mark on that really bad. But sorry, I digress. Sorry, Zane, we're saving the best for last, man. Not really. Go. We got 10 minutes. We got to end the show. So go.
So I haven't seen Andor yet.
Oh my God! What are we doing? We have a show that we talk about Star Wars. You're my son. Are you kidding me right
when
now?
did it come out? It came out like
2-3 years ago. man.
2022. It came out 2 years ago.
I was busy with school and
Sure.
Hey, Zane, I'm disappointed, but I'm also happy for you because you get to watch it for the first time now.
Yeah.
We don't have
Exactly.
And
I have to watch
Ty
it.
and
We'll
Abby,
talk
just so
about it
you know,
eventually.
he is our lore master for the show.
I am the lore
this
master.
guy who hasn't seen Andor. is our
Fired.
lore. That's what
Wow.
I'm saying. There's a new position on the Sith Dominion for those of you listening.
I'll take
He's gonna
it.
Take it.
I'm basically already there.
Oh my goodness! Really, you haven't seen Andor? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it.
All right, I'm gonna
sad.
drive however long up to College Station and make you watch.
No. He's
We'll
not
watch
in
it
College
together.
Station. He's in San Marcos, so he's
San
right
Marcos.
there.
Actually, okay,
Dude,
that works better. That's
yeah,
closer.
that's like
That works out
45
better.
minutes, man.
Yeah.
I'll
We'll do
it
watch
eventually.
parties in
Boys,
Discord. How about that?
Watch parties in Discord.
So Discord watch parties. We did that 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when we did the what was the last stupid
Didn't we-
movie? The sequels.
We finish Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
We
We
finished what we watched.
I guess we watched about half of it on Discord
It's
and
pretty good.
talk shit about it the whole time. That's fun. Just kidding. It's absolutely one of the worst Star Wars movies, from my opinion, and we talk about it ad nauseum in other shows. So,
You're wrong.
let's start wrapping this up. So, at the end of the day, it appears we're kind of split. We know what we're getting. I think that's a great point, Allie. We know, or Allie, Addie, no,
Abby.
Abby. There's too
wine-
many
the wine is
consonants.
it
The
now.
wine,
between
the balls
I
getting
and
to him.
A. Abby.
All good. We knew
I'm
who
just
you were
gonna shut
talking to. It's okay.
Where was I? See, I got totally thrown.
You were saying how smart I am and how much you agree with all the points.
How many
I don't know
sabers you were
that
gonna buy? You were gonna.
I don't think that's what I was gonna say. No, when it comes to all the things, whether it's election, whether it's politics and the Galactic Civil War, or whether it's whatever, like, realize we collectively, and what I may say may piss some people off, but I don't care. At the end of the day, we're told by the uppers, just mind your business and pay your taxes. So realize that you have power, especially at a local level, and make that power known. Palpatine made his power known, and that's one of the reasons he's always been my draw. And while he may not be my favorite Sith anymore, Balin has taken the cake for that. He,
Is he
I
so-
know, right? I want to write. I'm a writer too, so I'd love to write a Balin story. I'm just scared of doing it wrong. I love that character. I love what they did. I love Filoni's done with all of that. And but yeah. Anyways, I digress. Thank you, Oken Saber Armory, for joining us on election night. I have no idea where the polls are or where the election is, and I frankly right now don't care. I know I had a fantastic freaking time with you guys tonight. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting us on. It was awesome.
Yeah, very kind guys.
Absolutely. And again, I'm very serious about moving forward, and as you guys have stuff, if you want to come on the show, just ping me. I'll ping you guys as well to come on. Just don't even talk about your stuff, just barely. Just talk about Star Wars if you'd like. Yeah, Star Wars is fun. So go to OkenSaberArmory.com. Go on all the socials, Oken Saber Armory. All down there.
Here's the website.
OkenArmory.com. That's right. God,
Well, you can put
it's
Saber.
cool. Yeah,
it's cool. It redirects. We're good. Okay. What else, man? So MCU Mondays. You guys just finished up Agatha, right?
Yes. So we did episodes 8 and 9 last night. Those dropped last Wednesday. But yeah, we discussed and Marvel's 2025 slate for Disney Plus shows.
So go check that out on the Feast of
Fandoms. Yeah.
And MCU Monday, and then a Cantina Happy Hour, which is Thursday. And you guys are what are you guys talking about?
We are going to be discussing the new documentary for John Williams, music by John Williams, that released on Disney Plus. We'll probably react to Skeleton Crew, I'm sure. So I'll give my full thoughts then. I'm kidding.
That's okay.
Do you want me to do the plugs for the other shows real quick?
Sure. I mean, you're still part of that network.
Wednesday, so tomorrow, I don't know what they're talking about, but War of the Stars will be releasing a new episode.
And so, War of the Stars, that was our guest last week, which was Brian from War of the Stars.
Great guy.
Oh, fantastic. Loves him some Palpatine. Gave us a bunch of Palpatine voice.
He would have been great for tonight. He would have agreed with you.
He would have been all over this. Yeah. I should have brought him in.
And Saturday, we have the Geek Gauntlet, and they talk about everything.
That was a good episode last week, by the way.
Yeah,
I caught it on the replay. It's good.
Yeah, they always have a great time, and it's always a fun listen.
So just for you guys' benefit, Geek Gauntlet is everything. So it's anime, it's Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel. It's everything, and everyone has a segment, and you should talk about all the cool stuff that's going on. It's really cool. What else? Is that it? Is that it, Andrew? Andrew, what do you got going on besides freezing? Okay. Zane, what about you?
Sorry, I just cut out.
My
bad.
Just me. I have nothing in November. However, December.
You have no shows, no gigs, no nothing.
Nothing public. However, hopefully we have one single to release by then. We're hoping. Fingers crossed.
What single? Can you tell us?
We're hoping it's What's Your Favorite Color.
What's your favorite color?
We're getting it mixed and mastered right now currently.
Nice.
However, December 27th, so 2 days after Christmas, they give you time to spend time with your families and then get ready for Friday night. Dripping Springs, Texas, and Hudson's on Mercer Street. I'm playing a gig up there with Thomas Babiak and the 30 Rack. You have a hell of a good time.
Heck yeah. What's Your Favorite Color is going to be the first single released. Man, super excited for you guys, man. This is huge. And I'm just happy I'll get to hear like real instead of just off your phone recording. So thanks. Oken, what do you guys got going on the next few weeks to a month?
I mean, I briefly mentioned earlier we got a couple of our people going to a San Angelo Christmas show on November 16th and 17th.
Just so you know, I went to high school like 30 miles outside of San Angelo.
Oh, wow.
How random.
That's
crazy. I know. It's just a random place. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty random, but they have a pretty good little Christmas market, so we're just doing
they do.
And then we'll be dropping some specials, as we get closer to Christmas and all that stuff. So pick up your sabers then. I'm sure Zane has a wish list 16 sabers right now.
It's growing.
Well, he just got new tires for his truck. He ain't getting no saber now.
And for all of you, I mean, obviously you let us up on here, and we were very honored to be your guest. So let me know when you want to buy a saber, and I can cut you a little discount.
I will absolutely show that Balin off to everybody.
Yeah. But other than that,
on my end, so I'm the social media guy. Like I said, I'll be doing saber tutorials, but I also have a couple segments I'm going to start doing on all our social media channels that is going to go into lore. They're going to be videos, not live. But so you might have some interest. It's all going to be about lightsaber focus kind of stuff, but going off into some of the lore. It's going to be a segment on my socials. So that's what I got.
Yeah.
Awesome.
More the better. Guys, this was super fun. I had such a blast tonight. This went, like I said when I sent you guys the email, loosely. We didn't even talk about half the stuff on the outline, but I don't care. We went a full 2 hours and it was super fun. Thank you guys so much for joining. You have a fantastic product. We didn't even talk about the freaking light whip. Oh my God, the light whip.
Whoa, they have a light whip?
Oh, they have a light whip. Can we show the light whip before we sign off here?
It's your show. You make the
I know
rules.
it's my show. I can do whatever the hell I want, but I don't have the site pulled up now. I closed it already. Do you have the site back up?
I don't have the whips on the site. I need to put them on there, but it's essentially with any saber, obviously normally comes with a blade, but we can do a whip instead or in addition to. And they're adaptable to any of our sabers. And so it's just a light whip instead of a lightsaber, and it's a lot of fun.
It was
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
So you all know, you all listening in listener land, that light whips and et cetera, like that is something that's been in expanded universe for a while. I had a role playing website called the Sith Dominion, where where we did forum role play and story. Like it was freaking amazing. And my Sith master, had a light whip. That was my first introduction into it because I had not gone into all of the lore of the saber stuff and things that existed within, from like Ezra's makeshift black whatever saber, like that kind of stuff where it was attached to your hip and power for the power supply, all that stuff. I didn't know anything about that when I started that stuff back in like 99 2000. So
1900s.
yeah, 1900s. Did you just say that, jerk? Holy cow. Oh my god. Hey, honestly, again, guys, thank you so much. We will absolutely share all this with our 100+ people, but no, we get 400, 500 people that listen to the show, so we'll get that up there for you guys. And man, we absolutely want to have you back at some point, even just to talk Star Wars if you want.
Let's do it.
Yeah, heck yeah. So for the rest of you all, I will be in the Caribbean next week. Sorry, I ain't brought. If you guys want to do a show, Zane, and whatever, y'all go ahead.
You're not going to be live on the cruise?
Nope. Because I'll be 15 drinks into my limit at that time.
The Sith Dominion starring Zane and Andrew.
Yes, there we go.
We'll find a way to carry it.
No, I don't need that.
100%.
So
be the wildest
following week is the week in between my cruise and Thanksgiving. I will not, that week, we will not have a show. I have something I will be doing with my family. Eris Corriban, who's usually in here, Madison, is coming down with my grandson. Oh my God. Can't wait to take him to Santa's freaking Wonderland because he loves that place, and I do too because I'm a 5-year-old as well. What else, man? You already talked about all the other stuff. You guys talked about your stuff. You talked about your gigs. I guess that's it. So we can wrap it up. 2 weeks from now, we will have an episode where we will be comparing. I'm going to say it now, so Debbie, you don't have to join because I know you don't like this kind of stuff. But I have a list of the last 10 presidents that we've had, not counting whatever happens here tonight. The last 10 presidents and the associated Sith Lord that I have assigned to them and why. That is next week. So 2 weeks from now, the week in between next week and the holiday week. So I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be fun because I'll just say Joe Biden was Darth Sion just because, my God, he's hanging on for dear life. All right. Listen, again, thank you, Oken. Thank you, Zane. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Ando 3818. Who else was in here tonight?
Janae was on.
Janae was in. We didn't even do the Beetlejuice. Janae, and she still showed up. Cam, thanks for joining. Janae, Brandon, thank you guys.
Andrew,
and remember,
thank you for joining in the chat.
What?
I joined in the chat. Where's my thanks?
Yeah, this is just AI, Andrew.
Yeah, this is
worse.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're trying to end. Remember, kids, peace is a lie. There's only passion. Good night.